Hello and welcome back to
Alright,
the Gamer's Tale.
you
I'm Trent
go.
Gander. I shall be your dungeon master for this evening. We are returning to our Forging the Onyx campaign after a week off with Call of Cthulhu. Last time, the party aided the enigmatic Mr. Black in some errands he was running around town, including meeting the local. What is his name? It's Arch something. They make things like
Artisans.
alchemists. No,
Artificer.
artificer. There we go.
Architect?
Oh.
Okay.
Artificer. The local artificer known as Crookshank, who is related to the minstrels as the resident mad scientist of Loburn. Uh, in addition to this, they went and withdrew a loan from one of the financial districts of the north of the city and stopped what appeared to be an attempted bank robbery of a number of individuals who have really no connection with each other and leaving behind a powerful artifact that looks about the size of a saucer and is rather brass-like. After a quick engagement with them within there, they decide to head off back to the Lonesome Night Inn and recoup. So, everyone who is not currently here is off doing something with the rest of the minstrels the next day, and we'll pick up there.
Have I healed up from being zapped?
You've had a long rest, have you not?
Yes.
It is a lovely morning here in Loburn. The skies are still overcast, but it still has that kind of bright feel underneath, as most of Gantevos is overcast most of the day. You hear the bustle of the people going around the inn. It's noises that you've become accustomed to, and the bark of people in the street as they go about their morning business. You, of course, deducted you've probably been here 3 to 4 days now. I forget if you guys paid for that much.
Do not recall.
Well, if we didn't, somebody's coming to collect.
If you haven't, I would say 30-ish silver would be deducted from your packs. This is the wrong notebook. That is the notebook for... There we go. All right. Frederick is building up more rapport with the local resistances as he's going around scoping them out and doing his general moody, edgy warlock business.
Growing out his bangs so that they cover his eye.
No, that's just the this. Well, his hair would have started to grow back by now, but that's just what he does with one eyebrow. Grow it out really long and just have it hang there.
I don't think that's how that works.
Oh.
Magic moves in mysterious ways.
I'm
I
just
thought eyebrow hair couldn't
picturing
grow
it.
that long.
Yeah, no. He'd have to cover both eyes because it looks like he's blind. Okay. It's probably about 8 a.m. and you hear at the door.
You know?
Open up.
Mm.
Sound like a little demon thing.
Yes.
Devil.
Then I will be waiting at the door with my staff ready.
I am not opening it.
I'm still worming my way out of my furs.
Just glaring at the door.
Bro, stand down. And I just open the door.
Mm.
Zolthar slips in and quickly closes it behind him. There's been some problems. And he just
I
kind
only
of
see one problem here.
I'm just gonna like
Details?
gesture with my hands, like, yeah.
Go on.
um. I would say then you hear another knock at the door.
Hello?
Good morning.
I'll open up the door for him.
He just walks in and closes it behind him and slings the case on one of the beds and just kind of sits down. Ah, good, you're here. Where's the annoying red one? He kind of looks around dramatically for Isra. Isra's not anywhere here.
Oh no.
Is that a oh no, he's up to something?
He's always up to something.
Up to something, or something could have happened.
Mm.
He is taking care of his own affairs elsewhere in the city. Well, my servants have informed me that there are some things we need to consider. Tell me, how much do you know of the ancient world?
It's
What
old.
do you mean?
Who's he talking to? Us?
He's talking to
In
all
general.
of you.
In general.
Do I know anything about?
Define ancient world.
Do you ask that as
Tread.
you know pretty decent amount of what is considered the ancient world.
Okay, I figured I'd do a history just for the hell of it.
Which ancient world? So
Have you heard of the Platinum Age of Arcana?
would it have been called something else? Ignis?
What is Arcana?
Arcana is the
Sorcerer.
study of sorcery, magical elements, very similar to what you would refer to as Druidism. But
The age of magic, you mean?
generally it's
That's
been
what our family called it.
is generally considered to be universal. This term it's kind of like how we refer to as
Okay.
the Dark Ages, but it was a time of great discovery and massive uses of arcane energies throughout the world millennia ago. During that time, especially at its peak, machines crafting was at an all-time high, and they created what we would consider beyond the scope of magic today. Individuals such as what they're referred to as Warforged, are similar in nature to them, but even they are pale in comparison to what was created by the some would consider mad mages of the time. Many of the artifacts from that age are scattered throughout the world, and given all their faults, the magicians of the time had some wisdom and created many a failsafe to prevent the continuation of their studies and the misuse of their creations after a significant amount of death had already occurred. I have been informed that some of these creations have been activated. Something has tripped there. With the term they keep using is failsafe. I do not fully understand what they mean by this. It is what the ancient texts refer to them as. They are currently quite active, and unfortunately, it sounds as if Gantivos and my sworn enemies, the Hell Knights, have managed to capture some, and the term they use is reprogram. As he
How
said,
many
That does not sound
yeah.
good.
in existence, in here? You mean in the city?
Oui.
There are, to my knowledge, 3. 3 have been captured, and 1 is being sent here. 1 for each of
And
the
what-
soul
What is
furnaces.
What are they?
They are. He kind of points toward Brock. They are the epitome of strength and lethality. Some say they are
But
worshipped as
what's-
gods. They are man-like, but yet they have none of its problems,
These
shall we say.
artifacts?
It is not an artifact in and of itself. It is a failsafe. The ancients referred to them as sentinels, and they were part
But
of
what are the artifacts?
the
What
artifacts.
are we looking for?
They are not looking for the artifacts. These ones are looking for you or me.
What are we looking for?
We are trying to remove the influence of the Spire and free this land as per
What
our
do the
agreement.
artifacts look like?
They are spread throughout the world, one of which I hear is in the mountains, referred to as the Throne of Omens.
Yes, I know of this one.
Yes,
It's the ones that are here.
the ones that I hear. That I
Yes.
don't know. Those are actually... Wait, there are some. They are the keys to Astrasan, the gates. The gates are locked by 7 seals. Sorry, 6. Each one resides as a crown within the leaders of each of the cities. Those who do not have the ruler of Gantivos' permission cannot enter its throne room. Unless they have these crowns.
Then they might have their hands on one. One of the crowns, I mean.
Who?
I can't. What is the king of the one we saved?
Oh,
Oh, not the Tempest King, the other guy.
yeah, the Tempest King. Or the Dervish King.
Tempest King.
The Tempest...
Dervish- Yeah, the Tempest King, the guy with the Bone Lord, who was actually friends with him, but we didn't realize the other guy was a no-name.
I legitimately forgot that the Tempest King is with you.
He's here somewhere.
This poor man is still...
Is he with us?
Yeah,
he
he's
is...
got to be in the room. Probably, you know.
He is still very irritably kind of in the corner, just like looking at all of you.
I offered for someone to take him home, and no. They may be compromised. Don't contact them.
I can assure you, he says, my crown had no magic in it.
Are you sure?
Yes, it is merely a symbol. He is correct. I was not referring to the crowns of all the sovereigns, of all the kings, of all the mountains. I was talking of each of the rulers of each of the cities within Gantivos itself.
So they are here.
Six cities, 6 crowns, and they're all in this region.
They are spread throughout all of Gantivos, yes.
Explains why they wanted to keep it hidden.
I did not like any of this.
Well, it's about to get worse. A number of
It is
the...
already the worst it can be. You are here.
He just kind of narrows his eyes at you and gives you the kind of look. The problem is that the Sentinels are not very choosy in how they view threats. They are not necessarily unstoppable, but once those that fell into the hands of the Village of Astrasen have been corrupted, so they are much, much less choosing. If I can't, he turns to Tread and he explains in Draconic that like wholesale slaughter is more along the lines of what he's trying to explain.
Ah. Like,
Can they be broken?
They can, however, they are very, very tough. At the sound of this, you see Mr. Black just kind of looks up and he says, "You said Sentinels, yes?" "Yes, I did." "Perfect. Where?"
What?
"Where are they? Tell me." And you see, he seems like he's restraining some sort of excitement. Sentinels, have heard of these things for many, many years. They are. There's something I would wish to encounter. I can assure you, you do not wish to encounter them, especially these. I think that is where you're wrong. You see, Zulthar is very frustrated right now. Fine. I hear that one has been sent here. Should be arriving in about 2 to 3 days' time. And with the express plan of removing whatever has been causing such ruckus east of here. And the rogue mages that have been reported within the plains. Apparently someone, and he looks at all of you, encountered a few of their patrols, and they're wondering where they are, especially after a ruckus within the prisons to the east in Weepingburg.
I mean, encountered isn't quite the word I'd use, but
And what would you use? Hmm?
slaughtered.
Ah,
devoured.
I see the barbarian must stroke his ego just a small bit. Well, if...
I could stroke something out.
I was about to say that.
No, thank you.
Tread just blinks.
And then I pull
I
out my
don't
axe and I just
understand.
start sharpening the blade.
He says, well, perhaps Frederick will be more concerned with this. I shall find him elsewhere. And as he's about to leave, Mr. Black gets up quickly from the bed, just like grabs him by the arm and kind of slams him up against the wall. I tell you, I must see one of these sentinels. Make sure he comes to me.
I'm just gonna put my hand gently on his shoulder, and kind of pull him back.
As you kind of put your hand on his shoulder, he whips around. His arm's still on, like the bicep of Zulthar, and one of the strange mechanisms he has strapped to his waist is in his hand and at your face.
Hey, calm down. It's okay.
This is no
Zulthar
concern of
said we're the
yours.
thing. Sulsar said whatever thing would eventually be here would be here. I'm sure we'll be able to confront it then, alright?
If this thing is dangerous, then we should probably not do this inside the city. It is not a great city, but there are innocents here.
It seems like Mr. Black wants to go out and meet it.
I would prefer to. But there's still business to do within the city.
I'm fine with that. You just need to calm down.
And why? I heard that there was a ruckus within not Suba. Giva. I heard that very many of you were the result of that ruckus, or at least the cause. So you must understand. You must understand that sometimes there's a necessary time for a ruckus.
Yeah,
why
but
him saying
the man has
ruckus
a point.
is like so funny to me.
Okay.
of course there's a necessary time for a ruckus, but you don't need to... Just put your weapon away. You don't need to fight us.
Are you sure about that? You
Yes.
can see his grip visibly tighten. My business is my business.
I'm gonna go and put my hand on his, the one that has the apparent weapon in it.
I would not do
It's
that.
alright. It gets out eventually.
You see him kind of reluctantly start to pull the weapon back to him, and it disappears underneath his coat. Listen, Zultha, you must ensure it finds me. Do I make myself clear? You make yourself quite clear, Black. Now get your hands off of me. And you see that kind of like the light starts to refract a little bit differently around Zulthar as he says this. Fine. And he lets go. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have plans to make sure that Mr. Black here gets his death wish. He opens the door and he leaves and slams it behind him.
Good riddance.
Glad they built the doors real strong around this place.
And of course, the glides puts him.
Yep.
Do soft skins always fight like this?
Not always.
No.
Mr. Black is still kind of
Sometimes.
facing where Zulthar was standing. He hasn't turned around. He hasn't really moved.
Monsieur Black, you should probably sit.
All right. He kind of shakes himself out of the slight daze he was in and goes and sits by his case.
Sorry, can we hold on just one sec while I get into the game?
What?
I'm
Yes.
getting into Roll20 still.
Yeah, I saw you.
Oh.
I just saw you pop up.
Okay. Yeah.
There's just one.
It says you're here, so yeah.
I know, I'm still opening my character sheet though. Loading kind of
Why
stuff.
is it that you want to meet this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I was about to make like an insight check on Black because
Tread's just gonna straight up ask him.
That is, to an extent, my business.
May I insight after asking the question?
Yes. You can also ask clarifying questions if you wish to have the insight
You
for
want
the
a good fight,
specific answer.
don't you?
I do.
What?
Been a while since you had a good tussle.
No, it's
You
not
need
been a
something to
while
feel like-
since. It's not necessarily that. It is the greatest test of skill. Small one.
You wish to challenge yourself?
Not necessarily myself, but definitely this thing.
Do you know
Okay,
this thing?
now I'm getting it.
From the way he's kind of dodging the question, Tread, you feel as if it's both.
Both what? Like,
He wants to he wants to challenge this thing, but also challenge himself.
gotcha. I see. My
Yeah.
people have similar practices.
Hmm. I highly doubt they deal with machinations from beyond as much as I do. It's
I
like,
don't know what machinations are.
How old are you, Mr. Black?
you see, he turns and looks towards you, and there's a slight amount of sadness in his eyes. To be honest, I do not really know. And he goes and he sits back down next to his case.
Have you encountered one of these before?
A long time ago. Once or twice.
And what happened?
They were careful partings. Mainly observations, not necessarily conflicts. They were originally built to ensure that information and technology, as they call it, would not fall into the wrong hands. Very similar to my own calling in life. However, ones that have been corrupted, shall we say, as Zuthar has led us to believe, this poses a much more significant problem than you would even imagine.
Do you want us to help you with them?
No.
Maybe distract it so you can get a good shot off with that thing that you got in that case?
No. I will ensure that it does not continue its corrupted practices. Practices, not practices. My mind is elsewhere. I will ensure its destruction, but you don't want any of you to interfere. Do I make myself clear?
Why do you not want
Yeah.
us to?
Because this is my...
He wishes to test himself.
And only himself.
I will
Much
not
like the
sit
trials of
by.
much
I will
like the
not sit by
trials of
if
my
you are
people.
injured. This is what I am trying to say. I'm sorry.
It would not
But if
matter.
you're injured, I must heal you. This is what I have been told to do.
You may not have to heal me. Maybe afterwards, but not before. Not during.
If you are out daring, then yes.
You must focus on the larger picture. This is for me alone. Your jobs, your purpose here is to free these people, to destroy this soul furnace, to gain these crowns, to defeat these Hell Knights as per the request of Zulthar. That is your task. This is mine. In so doing, you'll be able to continue on, choose which ones you go after to be able to actually succeed. This is for me to succeed alone. If anything, my purpose is to distract it so that you may succeed.
She sighs and just nods.
You wish to distract it while we try to retrieve the crown?
It is not something as simple as merely fetching a piece of jewelry. It is guarded upon the head of the ruler of the city, who is himself or herself, I do not care. They are... breaking accent, damn it. They
You
are...
are. It's just like, nope.
They are... They are more guarded than anything else, since they are overseers. The Hell Knights in and of themselves would ensure that the ruling class will remain so they can control Loburn as much as possible.
Is there any way to get them out in the open?
If it were only as that easy. They remain in the keep for the most part and are generally only going to the Soul Furnace to observe its operations or carry on their business within. That is their entire purpose, is actually to guard said crown. That way they will ensure the safety of the rule of Gantivos, to ensure the safety of the Lich.
Too bad we can't bring the whole building down on them.
I highly doubt they will stop the Hell Knights.
Might delay them for a little bit. The ruler might get squished.
Such optimism.
But
Yeah.
of course, you have to have optimism.
I have seen many people die with such optimism. You forgive me if I am slightly, what's the term? He mutters something in a foreign language and jaded.
If someone dies with optimism, then that is fine. It was your time.
Hmm.
But I would rather die with optimism than the opposite.
Well, that is your choice.
She like nods and gives a little smile. Like, yeah. That is my job. I'm way too happy. Yeah.
You hear this thud against the door, and like something jiggles with the handle.
Hello?
You just kind of hear this slightly pained gasping as the handle jiggles faster.
Just gonna get up and rip the door open.
Isratosfor just collapses into the room. He's clearly been injured, and he is not getting up.
Okay,
Who's
just
he?
like grab him and pull him further in and kick the
How
door shut.
bad?
He appears to have sustained 3 to 4 separate wounds in his right arm, and there's
He's getting healed. Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you want to do it or should I?
his fancy purple glasses. One of the lenses is broken, and there is what looks to be at least 3 inches of a wooden spike sticking out of the right side of his chest.
This is
Did
gonna
someone
need
think
more
he was
than
a
herbs.
vampire?
Or a vampire.
He gets healed 17.
Black also kind of moves over to him and, I'm sorry, my friend, and he just whips that kind of. It's not like a steak. It looks more like it's probably a shaved
Oh, it's
piece
like a
of
fin. Like a fence post.
No, it's not a fence post. It's probably like a centimeter in diameter. It's more like a dart that you've seen Treadscala carry and or make.
Oh, a dart. Okay.
Most of mine are bone, but yes.
But yeah, like it would be for something like that. But it seems very rough hewn and homemade. And as he just rips this thing out, as the magic starts to take hold and heal him, it just goes Black, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry, my friend. It had to be done.
You'll be alright.
I truly hope so. I have so many more women to meet.
Do you want me to knock you out? That way you don't gotta feel the pain?
No. I managed the pen when I was getting here. I shall manage the pen now. And he starts to kind of try to sit up.
Are you poisoned?
What? No.
Many darts are poisoned. My people do that very often.
That is very practical of them. I'm sorry, Gus. We're talking about me here. Can we not talk about poison? All right. Thank you.
Focus, lol.
Okay. What? It's not my coat. It's ruined.
Are you alright? What happened?
I was obviously attacked. I was going to, do some schmoozing with some of the locals, with the minstrels and a few others, and all of a sudden, I saw someone was following me. I really couldn't see them very well. You just get this feeling. And as I was looking down from a window in one of these buildings, all of a sudden I hear this whistling noise, and he kind of indicates his arm, and suddenly there was a crap load of pain, and there's a thing sticking out of my arm, and apparently my chest. And he kind of lifts the shirt and looks like, and like rubs where the hole used to be. It's like it's kind of that did not. I would not like to repeat that again. Don't worry. I made sure that my bloody trail will not be able to be followed. You see Mr. Black just give a look of serious doubt.
Whatever, man.
Oh, quiet. Oh, quiet, Gus.
Couldn't even open the door.
I was halfway across the city. What do you expect me to do? Just being upright was merely enough of a trouble. So you want me to be able to pick locks too? What am I going to use? My teeth?
Is that possible?
No.
I'm just gonna pick him up, like just no effort. Pick him up and just put him in one of the beds.
I love a strong woman.
Bad time to drink.
I think I try, but you should rest. I can give you a bit more if you need so.
I think I will be fine. I do have a need to mend my coat and my. Mr. Black just sighs and rubs his forehead at Isra's preoccupation with his damaged coat. Taka, did you get any idea of what he looked like? He was about 6 feet tall. He wore a tight-wrapped black headdress, similar to Home. Not Home, north of Home, like the nomads wear. And it looked like he had leather straps across his chest. And as I saw him kind of walking through the crowd, I moved from the window, and his hand went up. I suddenly was in pain, and yeah, that was pretty much all I could focus on for like the last 15 minutes or longer. What time is it? I don't know. Where's my watch? He kind of fishes
Correct me
around.
if I'm wrong. Did we see someone like that already?
Oh yeah,
Yes, but the
The
head wrap.
guy in the desert.
yeah. It was the guy that was running away.
Okay.
Yes. He kind of fishes around in his pocket and
We
he pulls
followed
out.
here, essentially.
He pulls out. Oh, it's been 30 minutes. Oh, I've had a piece of wood stuck in my chest for 30 minutes. Great, great. Oh, what if I
You'll be
cough up?
fine, there is nothing. Oh,
It
there's
wasn't
no
a
more
poisoned
wood.
piece of wood.
What if I don't cough up splinters?
That is not how that works. No.
And you see him kind of rummage around in his pocket and pull out this very sad-looking hand-rolled cigarette and put it in. It's like, all right. Reach in. He seems to be babying the one arm despite the fact that the wounds have been healed. And he pulls out a small thing, strikes the flint, and he touches the burning end to the end. Oh, yeah, that is what I need. And as he's doing that, like, the end just hangs off, and so most of the smoke coming out of the middle. It's like he kind of rips off that last part and smokes a very small burning piece still without the... Ah, yes. That's,
Did you kill this man or did he run off?
I was a little busy having a piece of wood stuck in my chest.
So he ran off.
He just kind of shrugs at you as he continues to try to smoke this increasingly smaller cigarette.
I'm gonna go down into
Hmm?
the first floor of the building and hang out and watch for this guy. Okay.
Okay. You leave the room, you go down.
Yeah.
Alright. You take up a slightly less obvious position of watching the door. The Goliath innkeeper asks if he can get you anything.
Yeah, I'll take a. Not a pint. What's the big old mugs called?
Flagon.
Yeah. Give me a flagon of your finest mead.
Alright. That'll be 10 copper.
Just put it on my tab.
He calls one of the attendants over and gets in you in about a minute or two. He gets you a decent flagon of ale or mead.
Thank you.
Back up in the room. Isra's still trying to smoke the rest of this, and even using the lighted piece to light the other one.
He's chaining.
What am I going to do
What
with
are
you,
we
Isra?
going to do today?
Obviously, what he has described. That matches every single thing of a sentinel, except for the coloring of the headwear, and this must be one of the corrupted ones. Obviously, Zulthar's information is quite old. I do not like this. I do not like this at all. We have no time to prepare. Stop smoking in bed, Isra. This bad habit.
The one that attacked him was one of these sentinels.
Possibly one of the corrupted ones, yes. The tight head wraps, the almost unerring accuracy, the use of, and he holds up the. Now that you pulled it out, there's probably about 4 or 5 extra inches that were actually in Isra's chest.
Ew. Ow.
These rather improvised dots are, and you see that there's like no fletching on it at all. There's no feathers, like someone tossed a giant wooden spike. The lack of any aerodynamics to it makes it almost certain that a sentinel threw this.
I believe we've spotted it before.
Really?
Yes.
I
have a
It was
thought.
edited in selection. Sorry,
It's okay.
I have like a delay on the mic.
I'm going to set up.
I'm gonna mute you
A
for a little bit,
scri-
Brock. Your aggressive background noise is distracting me. I'm sorry.
I'm
Hello?
I'm gonna set up
What?
a scrying spell.
Okay.
And I want to try to scry on the figure that we spotted.
Okay. Is there a roll that goes with that? I forget.
Oh, the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target.
Okay.
I'm assuming either second hand you've heard of the target or first hand you've met the target.
I would say what's secondhand seems a bit more like it because you saw them walking away, and
Yeah.
that's not
So
like.
they get a +5 then to the save,
All right.
which would be my saving throw, which is 7.
17. Okay. You said 17 for your DC?
Yes.
Okay. He missed it by 1.
Haha.
So you get your little circle all ready, and within your mind's eye, you see the figure. Pretty much walking in what most of Gant Evo's looks like, this very dry-looking plains area with like destroyed houses and remnants of fortifications and new fortifications kind of surrounding him. As he walks close to him, you're not fully familiar with all the locations of Loburn. You just know that is not it. Like he looks like he's out. He looks like he's out somewhere in the fields.
It appears that he's out in the fields.
Interesting. That only makes my conclusion even more accurate. This is not the one. If you did see one, which apparently you have, that is not the one that. That is not the one that did this to Istra.
I could try again using that spike to try to scry on the one that attacked him.
And he just kind of shrugs and holds the spike out to you.
Actually, I can't use that spell again today.
Mr. Black's left eye twitches just slightly as he pulls the spike back to him. Unfortunate. Well, we must ready the other groups. You small one, Greer, was it? Reach out to your contacts. Make sure that they are on high alert. There is someone very dangerous looking for us, looking for them, possibly trying to remove all the people who stand in the way. Therefore, they must be on the lookout.
Okay, I'm gonna head over to. I'll go see Book and Knoll. I'll go myself. I can get around this place a lot better than you guys.
Mr. Black just kind of nods, and as you go off, and it takes you about 10
Jump out
minutes.
the window and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, monk.
little parkouring.
Parkour. It takes about 10 minutes to get there. Still, because I'm assuming you're doing it in a way that's not just blatantly obvious.
Exactly.
All right. You get there pretty quickly. The store is just about opening. Book and Null is Null's just switch the
Before
sign.
I go in,
Mm?
I'm gonna look around to see if that description of the Sentinel, if that's around anywhere.
Okay, make me a perception. Okay.
Oh,
The streets are pretty congested right now, but none of them seem to match the dark headdress, and none of them seem to have any leather strapping on them.
Okay, then I'll go in.
Okay. So you go inside, and Null turns and looks. Greer, how are you? It's a little bit early.
You need to tell everybody to keep their eyes open. There's this thing called a Sentinel that's going around town trying to stop the resistance. It's going after everybody. One of the investors was just attacked.
Attacked. What? As he's saying
He had
that,
the spike shoved into his chest 5 inches.
Noel just kind of eyes widen at that, and you hear aggressive snapping coming from behind the counter and book. She seems like she almost never leaves the place. That area is getting Noel's attention, and you see her hands just fly in a flurry of signs, and he's like, "Okay, I'll get to it. Okay." Thanks, Greer. We'll get on it as fast as I can, and you see that it transcends even in sign language to someone who doesn't know how to speak it. No, or not. Book is like, and do it now. She looks very irritated with Null right now.
You know, I know where most of them are. You give me some other information to let them know I'm coming from you, and I can go warn some of the others.
Okay. He kind of looks around, like patting himself down, and you hear another snap from. Book, and she tosses a small pendant at Noel, and he tosses it to you. It's a very small, kind of like a, what's it called? A coin that has the impression of a lute on it, and it's pretty much like the minstrel's unofficial symbol.
Okay. I'll go to, once I make sure that they're going to take care of their end, I'll try and find some of the places I can get to on the way back to the inn, taking a circuitous route.
Okay. The only one that you're really sure you'd be able to hit would be, either the scholars and where is it? It seems like most of the other ones are spread too far outside the city. They have representatives in the city and are mostly outside the city, such as the band. You might be able to hit the merchants and the scholars on the way back.
Okay. How about the Cispass Grave?
This is Sipagrav. They are north. For the most part, the bakers, they're spread throughout. They're very hard to track down. The Ancient Oath generally don't hang out anywhere on the way to the area. They're more of west of the Keg, which is the red square. And the Children of the Sky tend to avoid staying within the city for any length of time.
So remember, Grav is like the urchins and such.
No, the representative that they sent was dressed in rags. The ones that are urchins are actually the scholars.
Okay, I'll get I'll look around for anybody who might have like the mark of the scholars on them on my way back to have them pass around the information to the others, to the merchants and such along the way, and show them my token.
Okay. On the way back, you see a couple of like panhandlers and street urchins. They all kind of have the same kind of look to them that the representative had, but it's a bunch of poor criminals. You can like hold it up and tell them tell Tater that somebody's looking for us, and just like run off.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Hey, get the Tater, have him warn everybody else he can get a hold of to watch out for a leather-strapped tall being with a dark head wrap, and if you see it, run.
And the kid kind of goes a little wide-eyed and he runs off.
I look around to see if he just saw something like that.
No, this is a bunch of normal Loburn people.
How funny would it be if you said that and he was right behind you?
Oh, he'd be
That's why I
screwed.
said that. Reroll new character.
Mm.
And if I can, I'll head over to the merchants and let them know. Go
You
into one
find
of their stores and let them-
you know which stores are for the merchants, and you kind of walk in and get on this small kind of like raised platform that most of the places have here for the vertically challenged, and you just kind of flash the thing at the guy, and he kind of, "How may I help you, kind sir?"
I'll hold up my token.
Mm-hmm.
There's a being out here with a leather strap being with a dark head wrap who just attacked one of the investors.
This is...
If you guys see him, try and get away.
This is unfortunate to hear that our fiscal interests have been damaged. I shall inform the
He's
rest of the
alive.
guild. He's alive? Interesting. That's good.
I don't think much can kill him. He's too stubborn. He wants to get with all the ladies, apparently.
Well, then that's... I don't know what to do with that, but thank you.
A little too much information, but thanks.
I was just trying to, fuck up his reputation a little bit. I don't care if I was saying that.
So didn't need to know that, but okay.
A character like that would stop Isra.
Yeah, well.
After I let them know, I'll head back to the inn.
Okay. Meanwhile, this takes you probably 30-ish minutes to accomplish with travel time and stopping the places. During that time, Black kind of fusses over Isra a little bit, who only seems to irritate him more. And then Black kind of has had enough, and he gets his leather satchel thing and leaves. You don't see anyone matching that description, by the way, Brock. No one comes to the door. No one really out of the ordinary enters and exits the Lonesome Night Inn.
All right.
Oh, hey,
I'm just gonna keep slowly sipping my drink, looking moody.
You don't always look moody?
No, I do.
Not gonna lie, I thought you said nudie for a second.
You wish.
I mean, you do only wear, like, what is it, a loincloth or something?
No, I have like
Straps
it's
for
not
weapons.
a
Robes.
loincloth, but like not canvas, but like light canvas, kind of like half skirt, and then something like over one of my shoulders.
Oh, so you have an old...
Oh,
cut
And I'm not a
Toga.
toga,
like
but like
an abbreviated toga. pretty much.
Kinda, basically.
Toga,
Like a poor man's
toga.
toga.
I just love that he's like sitting there at the table looking like some adventurers are about to go to him. And he has
Yeah, and probably like a big leather belt.
Okay.
That says WWF champion on it.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's funny.
You're not wrong, but you're kind of wrong. Anyway.
You're wrong, but you're not far off.
Yeah. What is it? That's right. Isra is still. He's calmed down a little bit. He has finished his cigarette. This place is not that bad. It's kind of large. You can see he's kind of still a little bit in shock.
You mean the room?
But yes, there's the room.
I believe they
I have an idea.
awful good lights. What
I
is-
summon a boar.
Oh my god, what's that? Is that a ball? Where does that come from?
Pet it. It helps.
The boar just kind of gets up onto the bed into Isra's lab, and he's just, okay. You were being consoled. Please do not resist.
Soft skins love when they touch animals. So here you go.
That sounded very wrong. That sounded very wrong, but this pig is helping.
Pet is the world.
Yes, pet.
You
Wait,
see-
is that what you call the animal or what you call the motion?
Both.
both? And you see he's kind of now hugging the boar.
Interesting.
The boar is now just kind of just flopped on top of him, and he is mostly underneath, and he's just like, this is my life now. Thank you for the boar. Tread.
So he sounds like black when he's.
I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing. I did have a piece of wood stuck in my chest. Thank you. He's like, please get it off.
Down, boar.
Thank you. I can breathe again. Oh.
What was the other thing that soft skins like to have their pets do? Lick his face.
No. You did not touch my face. No, I will turn you into bacon.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
I wasn't. No. And then you see the pig the boar just about to do it, and then he's like clamps his hand on the snout. It's like, no. Ted, I thank you for your concern, but I will be fine. I appreciate the gesture, but
I did not make any hand motions.
yes, I forgot.
Other than throwing the boar. Is that what you're referring to?
The boy is nice, thank you. Just have him sit next to me on the bed. I do not need it to lick me. I do not need it to crush me or to otherwise smother me to death, because I already almost died today. Yeah.
Boar sit.
Mentioning that.
It doesn't happen that often for me. Okay.
It's
He
pretty
would not
obvious
make it
you're
long among my
using him.
people.
I am an adventurer. I explore dangerous things and dangerous people, might I add. He shoots a look over at Miyamura. But I generally am not seen, and I know when to get out, and that is why I survived the day, or at least most of the way to the day.
So this old thing is made you realize we cannot go anywhere alone.
Possibly. I don't know. It might have just been happenstance that he came across me.
Mm.
But you're being targeted.
It would appear so. Who knows? Maybe it was my ingenious disguise. And he kind of looks sadly at the busted glasses. You know, they do really bring out my eyes.
But your eyes are still in your skull.
Hold
Yes.
on, do I have this? No. Fuck, I thought I had an ending. I don't.
It's okay. I can get another set another time. But
Unless you want them covered in vines, I don't think I can help you.
he just looks like he looks like very confused by this statement, almost like the DM is. And
He touches it in Druidcraft, and like little vines and flowers grow on it.
oh, that's cute. Yeah. Actually, kind of like that. He puts it on. It looks very hippie. There's just like on one side it's metal, and there's this nice unbroken purple lens, and on the other side it's kind of that way. But it's all shattered and stuff, and there's all these flowers there. It's like, what do you think? Huh? I can pull it off, right? Yeah.
If anyone could, it would be you.
Thank
It
you.
doesn't look like they're stuck to your face, so I believe you could pull them off.
Yes. He takes them off and he puts them to the side, and he just kind of scratches the
See, you
side.
did it.
Yes, yeah, me. He can just continue scratching like the side of the board.
I love Tread.
Tread is amazing.
Shred is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
I do my best.
After about 20 minutes of this, Greer climbs up back through the window.
You can come to the door.
Where's the fun in that?
It all depends on who's on the other side of the door.
He is right.
Also, climbing through the window has its advantages and its appeal sometimes. This is a very large boar.
I could try to summon something
That's
smaller
a
for
big
you.
pig.
What did you figure out?
I just went down to see Book and Know and informed them of the Sentinel. Also let the scholars know and the merchants.
Oh, no one else has been out.
There's now a giant rat and a giant elk. Well, the rat's smaller than the boar, I think.
I've seen those in the wild. Please keep them over there.
Shouldn't they be on him?
One who?
No, he's-
Don't we want to, get rid of the evidence?
What?
But evidence. There's evidence.
something that proves a crime, but I do not know the laws here. Is something illegal going on?
Did we do something wrong?
I hope not.
Oh, you guys do not get a joke.
I have a pig.
From what I understand, you are a pig.
No. You think he puts his head right close to it and kind of rubs the jaws up? You think I look like this, huh? No.
Yeah, the pig looks better.
Oh. If I would not have trapped underneath it, I would, get up and show you something. I don't know what it
I
is,
can make
but
you be quiet.
Do you have something? Is
I have
it
many.
interesting? Is it another boar?
He's not another boar, but I am told I am very interesting.
Yeah, very what?
Very interesting.
That is true.
You are.
I am always entertained when you're around.
Good. I don't necessarily aim to entertain anyone, but I'm glad you are enlivened by your interactions with me. And he dramatically like places the back of his palm against his head and kind of turns away.
Right, Glea. No one else has been out. Right?
Where's the other guy's still downstairs, isn't he?
Are you still
Brock,
downstairs,
yeah.
Brock?
What is downstairs? Yes.
Presumably. I mean,
You haven't said if
Yes.
you came
yeah.
out.
Drinking his booze.
Hashtag day drinking. What?
I will go get Black. And I'm gonna just go get him because she thinks he's like still waiting and doesn't know that Greer's back.
Me and Moira comes down the
Out of
stairs.
character, I left afterwards. After he went downstairs.
I know, but he was keeping a lookout for someone matching the description. So
Yeah, I mean, I
Sentinel.
kind of suspected he just like stabbed the guy and didn't actually kill him, and then disappeared. That he was going to follow him to wherever he went,
Yeah.
which I mean, is kind of what. That's a good idea. Like,
Yeah, it is.
if you want to find someone the guy's working with.
what? Oh, that is an odd name for me. Blocked.
Me and Moira
oh.
is calling you, Brock.
Yeah, well, I'm downstairs.
Yeah,
She
went
went
down.
downstairs
Oh.
To go
and is
get
calling
you.
you.
Yeah. Big sip.
You can come back upstairs if you like. Glea is back.
Okay. Nothing's changing down here. I'm gonna follow her back upstairs.
And we're
Just
back.
like slam the mug, and then slam the mug back down.
As you whiplash yourself just a little bit, there's a lot of the meat kind of goes places that aren't your mouth, and you just kind of just wipe off this big mess off your face, and you just slam it down. And you like follow it back up, and the Goliath is just watching this whole thing. Like, I have the weirdest patrons.
Just
Come on,
watching
he's
it
a
like
Goliath.
the
You should be used to that.
Oh,
Maybe
that's funny.
Goliaths have a better time of actually getting the booze in their mouth.
They're technically larger and have bigger mouths.
I know.
That is a much larger target.
Why is he wasting good mead?
The fool.
Don't remind me that we're larger targets.
God damn it. I just got it.
You're welcome.
Hey, I come back with rocks. You have it down. But what is the plan?
I would very much like to know, says the Tempest King from the corner, who's just been like watching this unfold like a soap opera in front of him.
Is he petting the elk that is now in the corner?
He is ignoring its presence.
Damn.
Despite the
Poor
fact that
elk.
also the rat is now like sitting on his lap as well. He's just like, nope.
Nope.
Ah, it's not the day for this.
I'll look over the kids. So, what were you in the middle of? Maybe we need to go finish what you were doing when you decided to get a new hole in your.
Hey, I did not decide at all to have a new hole put in me. I had finished my business, and I noticed that someone was following me. And then I got stabbed.
And what business was that?
You know,
That might
kid.
be one.
Oh, you know, just doing what I do best, schmoozing and building rapport with the local people, and
What is smoozing?
you know when you make people like you a little bit better.
That is called talking.
Ah, yes, but the very important variation of talking, which we call schmoozing in Giva, is where you be really nice to them and kind of ingratiate them into your friend group. Therefore, they might do more things for you.
He was probably flirting with women.
I've never heard this before.
Unfortunately,
I
no.
must try it.
That would have been a lot more fun. It would have been a lot better than me getting stabbed. Although for speaking of women, you know that the one from what was the Children of the Sky, she was rather nice looking, I must say. I'd like to meet her again.
Focus.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I slept most of the night, thank you. I am wide awake.
You need to heal from your wounds. Here, let me help you.
If you get anywhere closer
Oh
to me,
dear.
if you get anywhere closer to me, I will shoot you.
With what?
And you see him reach into his now slightly tattered coat, and he pulls out the metal tube with the wood on the bottom, and he just kind of holds it next to the
But
rib that was
if-
pierced.
But if you're sleeping, you'll heal better. You're probably aggravating your wounds right now.
No,
Let me help you.
But no, I have healed them. They are not going to be aggravated.
you just hear click as the top part of the mechanism of the tube goes back with his thumb. I am not joking. I don't care how loud this would be. You stay over there.
How big is how big are the undersides of the bed? Since they're Goliath made, I'm guessing they're pretty.
They're actually rather squat. That's probably about
Damn you!
6-7 inches tall. They're made low to the ground to mimic the sleeping mattresses that they would use out in the field, and also it makes it a lot easier to support weight.
Damn it!
Hence it not collapsing under the bore.
Yes. Yeah. They are short and stocky, like me. What?
Like me.
Good. Yes, and he slips the piece of metal back inside his coat.
What
Out of
is the
character.
plan?
My plan is not to get stabbed again, shall we say? I think this is a very good plan. I think we should all adopt this.
Plan. I know your plan. She just kind of pats him on the head.
Ooh. Ow. No,
I-
not my hair. No.
As she continues talking, she just kind of starts to mess up his hair a little bit. But you know, the plan of how we're going to get these clowns.
Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult because if they're on somebody's head, they're always going to be well guarded. So, yeah.
So what?
Maybe figure out a way we can sneak in.
Or do this the smoothing thing.
He's still fighting the hair messing.
Smoothing.
It may not be that easy. They are kind of pricks in the keep. They only like business. The dry prudes.
Like, what is
Do we
this?
have some business we can give them?
I have some business I can give somebody, but
I do not understand.
I told you so. It's fine. Just
you poor sweet boy. Um, the problem is that for the most part, from what I can gather, the groups want to remove the soul furnaces. I have no idea what the hell a soul furnace is. They tell me it's one of those large buildings, and from what for my purpose of being here, I must find out about them. So that's why Black is here as well. We are trying to get a handle upon Gantifos's abilities, and we wish to, just as much as possible. So, perhaps it is like maybe the third largest building in the city, and he kind of looks to Jagreer for confirmation, which he does confirm.
Yes.
It's one of the third largest buildings in the city. If that were to disappear, go down, I don't know. Maybe that draws someone out from the keep, or maybe lessen the protection around it. Who knows?
That stealth is to get closer towards the head of the bed.
Okay, you manage to sneak up. You get about 10 feet closer.
Yeah, just keep doing it every now and then. Slowly move.
Okay. I told you not to get any closer. No.
But I just want to help you. You need to rest.
You see him start to kind of shift himself behind the pig now. No.
Galea. Me and Moira has
Yes?
like hands on her hips, full mom mode again.
Don't you want him to get all better? If he
I do.
doesn't sleep, he's not going to get better. He needs a good long
I will make
rest.
sure he sleeps. Let me worry about it.
There's an easy way. If you put your hand over his nose and mouth for a little while, he'll go to sleep.
That is not.
I've seen that done. That is not for sleeping.
It will put people to sleep.
Just
It'll
go
be
over
very
to
restful
Greer,
sleep.
pick him up, and put him on the exact opposite side of the room.
You
Just-
stay over
just
there.
Pick up. Yeah, I probably should.
I try and dodge away.
Okay. I guess it would be Dex for me.
Yeah, for all that catching bullcrap.
I'm not gonna.
She's gonna fucking nat 20 it.
No,
Nope.
I'm not. I'm gonna do it.
You,
-1.
you dodge away nimbly.
Closer towards him. I'm gonna end up getting shot.
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Let's not have that, shall we?
You stay on the
You
other
didn't
side
say
of
that out
Fred.
loud, did you?
What was that?
Who are you asking?
I asked Greer if he didn't say that out loud. If he was just musing.
That was musing. I was not gonna say I did not say that in character that I'm gonna get shot.
Okay.
For some reason, Isra has nicknamed the boar Fred and tells you to stay on the other side of him.
Okay.
I'll reach up and pet Fred.
Fred,
We need. We need a plan. Focus.
We need to know where the crowns are, where these rulers are.
So it's easy. The keeps, the public buildings, the seat of governance. Isn't that right, Fred?
If we can
Yes, okay.
disrupt the forge, won't that cause them to come out and check what's going on?
It might. It also might take away some of the security. But I see, from what I can tell, the soul furnaces are more. What's the word? They are more important to the overall effort than the crowns themselves. You, I believe, plan to possibly overthrow the Lich, or the Lich's master more accurately. I know that was part of it. That would definitely cause the walls to stop, which I think we all can agree. That's beneficial.
Yep. Yep.
It is beneficial.
It comes from the word beneficent, if you will. We really do need to work on your vocabulary, Chet.
Yes. I have heard that there are items that may help with that.
Oh, it comes with practice.
Look over to Isra. Were you able to get any of the explosives?
Explosives. That would be more of Black's repertoire. He does deal a lot more with that. I do deal with it some. I hear that Crookshank might do was working on that.
I thought you were supposed to pick him up from him.
Was I? Probably, yes.
Out of character, you were saying that he was the one who was going around getting everything.
He was, or he was at least commissioning it, and it does take time.
Okay.
It's been like a day or two.
A day, yeah.
You're moving stuff clandestinely in a
It
busy
hasn't
city.
been even a day since we asked.
Less than one full day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like 6 hours, and we can't expect to knock on the door.
Well, you
Knock,
did
knock,
technically have a couple of knock on the doors.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that the things would be delivered in a snap, so to speak.
Yep, totally. That's definitely a bomb only takes 6 hours to build. Yep.
Technically,
I have
yes.
a
If
lot
you
of
have,
stuff already.
never mind.
In modern times.
If you have a bunch of
Hey, if you
gunpowder
have
lying
stuff.
around, despite the fact that there's
Anyway.
a war effort going on, that probably has an embargo on all those things, diverting it.
So anyway.
Now then.
Maybe there's a way we can get into the soul furnace to disrupt it from inside without getting captured ourselves.
We could scout it from the outside first. I can turn someone else into an animal and turn into one myself, and we can fly around it.
At this point,
Fly,
Frederick
like-
walks in.
Be high.
What's that?
How's it going?
Oh, it's been going well. Isra, when did you get here? And as he says that, Frederick tosses something from his belt at him. Are we back to this again?
God damn it.
But seriously, what is he doing here?
He was stabbed.
I am not surprised.
It wasn't by some woman's husband or boyfriend.
I have standards. Well, the locals are good. And what have you all been doing? I've been out, working our contacts.
There's this thing.
What is a contact?
Sentinel and everything.
We'll cover that later, buddy.
Every time. That is so in character.
You guys are gonna have to sit down for about a 3-day discussion at the end of all this, eh?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he has actually explained it a couple of times about different things, so it's probably one day.
I was gonna say yeah, but not all of it.
Whenever we sit down for like a long rest or something, he explains everything over the course of the day.
And then you forget it.
Forget what?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, you said there was a what?
There's a sentinel, and explain everything that we've heard to him.
Huh, that's problematic. I don't think I've seen anything like that in the streets, although when I was leaving, some of them were a bit worried. Maybe it's connected to that.
If they looked kind of ratty, it was probably the scholars. I've already warned them and the merchants, along with the minstrel.
I was with the uh, some of the bakers actually. Someone came in, Urshan, I think, and yeah, that makes so much more sense now.
Those little things get around. Talking, it's a little thing myself.
The beggars are the eyes and ears of the city.
But right now we're trying to figure out how to draw some of the guards away from the crown.
That's I don't think that's going to be easy. Maybe some of the more aggressive groups within the resistances will be able to assist. Maybe an outside assault.
They would lose way too many people to even think about assisting us in that factor.
I don't know. It does seem
And
to be.
I don't think a small attack like that would draw away the personal guard of the ruler of the city.
Well, it would draw away enough of the town guard. We could get Zulthar's forces in on this. That might be beneficial.
She glares at him.
Only
It's
if
a
I get to knock him out.
Is a practical solution to our very practical problem.
And it is a last resort.
I will point out that we did agree to assist him in getting his forces for the use thereof.
There's only one thing he wants to use them for. He can use them for that, and then they leave. He does not need them for anything else.
Now, if I remember the contract correctly, they were to get the forces out in order to combat the Hell Knights. And the Hell Knights are part of the problem. There's more than just the ones in the city. So I don't know
And
what you're
who's this?
thinking. It's not going to be a quick in and out kind of a thing with Zulthar.
I did not want him in more, or his forces in more battles than they should be.
And I get that. But maybe they need to be.
Still, it will cause panic. He forgets that these cities are not just the bad guys, as she does in quotations. It is full of innocents as well.
And I get that. And I think that they're slowly being crushed underneath the boot of a tyrannical leadership. I think they'd be very, very interested in removing that boot.
If we
Yes.
use his forces, can we trust him to keep them out of the city and only attacking the walls?
I can't speak for him on that.
I don't trust him.
I don't
You
think
all
I
have
trust
a
him.
contract with him. I don't.
Well, technically, it's just me who has a contract with him.
My people do not like making deals.
That actually makes a lot of sense, Tread.
Why?
Never mind.
Well,
Well, I think we actually have a clear line of sight for the first time in a while. We have to gain access either to the soul furnace or to the leadership, which, for whatever reason, did you guys explain about the crowns?
Figured we
Yes.
would have.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so. Well, we didn't officially say that, but I hope Greer would have said it. If not, I would have.
Well, so we have two possible targets, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should scout them out and determine which one's weaker and go after that first.
That sounds oddly sensible, Brock.
Oof.
I repeat my
Or
idea to
Lizard
fly
folk
around.
friend here, and I just like smack. His name completely slipped my mind.
Tread Scout.
Tread.
Tread. Just slap him on the back. We could very easily, I think, infiltrate either one of these compounds and obtain a head count.
I can go and
At least an approximate one.
I could
Oh.
also turn someone else into an animal for 1 hour.
That's a
Well.
little alarming.
Can you tell me into
A
that?
flying animal?
Yes.
I would like to do that. She looks very excited, like giddy.
I was hoping to get the opportunity.
Yes, I like this plan already.
All right.
Out of character, I've always thought like a rogue druid combo could be very effective, except that you need to hit like 10th level before you get flying animals.
Yeah.
You just have to be overall character level
10th
11.
You have to be 10th druid level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, half your levels would have to be druid.
But wild
Yeah,
shape
like-
sneak attack.
Dip into it.
Exactly.
Technically, according to the rules, you can't get sneak attack in wild shape because they're not dex based, which
That's lame.
really sucks. Really sucks.
Well, I mean,
But it is up to the DM, so if that were the
I mean, if it was a let's put it this way: there are big cats that use sneak attack.
yeah,
It's
it
a-
makes more sense to have it.
Yeah.
It's a bear with a dagger. How it holds it in its paw, we don't know.
No, it
but
was
it's
just it would just
bears
go off
sort
of
of
his
have
weapon.
thumbs. They're not quite opposable, but they're
I'm
there.
sorry, like grizzly bears have daggers built in.
Yeah, well,
Several of them, actually.
Yes. Anyway,
like 20 of them.
it's just
Anywho.
scratching the
Sorry.
pig
So
still.
is Tread gonna turn drinking, or is Tread gonna turn me and Margaret into a bird, and they're gonna go flying around?
We can
Just
scout
watch out.
from the air.
Just watch out. Some
I
people.
mean, we do want to see in the building, so maybe like a
attack the,
songbird or something.
I
You might
can
not wanna be
transform
too
multiple
big.
times.
Sorry, there are
What's
too many
up?
people talking at the same time. Sorry. Okay. Continue.
Do you have any small flying creatures, Tread?
I can
Like-
turn anyone into just about anything.
Like a bat or a songbird?
Yes, or
Frederick,
a fly.
Frederick
Fly,
7
that's-
says, "You've seen him turn into a fly and then burst a man from the inside."
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's been a while.
It's a long story.
Ant-Man.
I did not want to know that.
Believe me,
Yeah, that
neither
was
did
before you
we.
joined us, so yeah.
But the
I
guy was kind of a
forgot about
dick,
it.
so
That's a terrible way to go.
He was gonna poison himself, so I feel like it was better.
that's up for
No.
debate.
Not at all. But
It's a long story.
Perhaps I will learn it one day. Or not. I'm not sure yet.
Yes, I could turn us both into songbirds, flies, anything really. Axe beaks.
Could you turn them into platypi?
What is
Turn them
that?
into what?
Platypi. They are duck-billed things with the flat tails and the poison spears. They are
Is there
strangely
They-
enjoyable.
Would they have been around in my swamp?
I was actually about to say if
Get out of my swamp!
God. Okay. I was actually about to say that they do live in swamps, so he most likely would have seen at least one.
Yes, I'm
Just
familiar.
it may not be the same name. I don't know. But
After a
they
short
live in swamps.
description, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
They're delicious.
You see, Isra's a little alarmed at this information. You kind
We
of
also
gotta.
use their poisonous spines to coat our daggers for intruders.
He just
Canon
kind
now.
of nods. It's also now canon that platypus are Isra's favorite animals.
Hold on.
Oops.
Yes, we can turn into flying birds. I do not know
Yes.
if this platypus is a bird, but
It is not. It can swim, but it does not fly.
Well, as I was once told, everything can fly at least once.
That depends on the nature of it, but okay.
Most things just fly straight down.
Flying and
Yeah,
falling
well,
are not the
that's-
same.
I was
That's,
gonna say
uh,
the same thing.
It's entirely dependent upon your perspective.
I
I
don't
have
think that's how
flown.
this works, but okay.
As that is a good perspective. Some people can only fly for short distances before they start falling.
But yes, I can turn someone else into a bird for 1 hour. I can stay transformed for much longer, but the spell for someone else is short term in comparison.
I would like to do that. I would like to be a bird. Very much so.
Should we transform here or be closer to where we need to go? Asking the party.
I would say
If you're
here.
flying, do it from here.
Yeah.
Which dot are we? Like, where are we on the map?
Yeah, I kind of need to know that.
Oh, right
Red
here?
one.
Okay.
Like in that
Okay,
general
I thought
area.
we were the red dot.
That's the
I
cat.
believe we should get closer.
Can you put a thing of where we are?
Like
Sure.
purple or blue or something.
Alright.
I have acquired fried chicken.
At least I have chicken. You are.
Yes, I got
Oh,
chicken.
You are the black dot. Black square.
Excellent. We should get closer before transforming to conserve time.
What is time? Alright, no one's laughing.
My spell lasts 1 hour. Time is of the essence, as I hear many softskins say.
I hear it's also the time and the season as well. No, never mind. This is an old folk song.
Right, if we are going to scout, then shall we go? Actually, I'm very worried about this traveling alone. But any of us traveling alone.
I was planning on staying here with Fred. Is that right, Fred?
Me,
Just a
Mia,
little.
Moira, and I can go ourselves, or someone can go with us, or the group could come and just wait for us.
I mean, it's not like anything as bad has happened when we split up previously, isn't that right, Tread?
No, never. I got a great meal out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. You don't want that to happen again.
Tread, I was that meal.
Out of character, don't we have
And yet, you are back.
hearings for this kind of thing?
This
Yeah,
is
we
true, but
do.
that's
They work within 500 feet.
that's more than 500 feet.
Yes.
That is significantly longer than 500 feet, despite the fact that the scale of this says it's only 20 feet. This is not
Well,
the
yeah.
scale.
Shot in the dark and say it
We
is
can
not the
hang out
scale.
nearby, outside the buildings,
Maybe find a tavern.
maintaining a just stay in hiding, but maintain
Greer's is
contact.
the local one, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
Greer, do you know of any taverns closer to where we need to go that we could hide out at?
No, there's many taverns around there. Just depends on where you want to be at.
I will point out that taverns are mostly in this area. This is more like low-income housing.
Ah, damn you.
Wait, isn't this kind of like a market? Or
Market-ish
is
area.
this a market?
Markets kind of go by these. Let me check my notes. Markets are more by the doors. There's only 3 of them.
Okay, and what is in this area?
That area it starts to thin out. Yes, there are some people. It's the center of town. Where is my notes? Come on. Loburn.
The
All
dog ate him.
I don't have
No,
a dog.
wait, Fred ate him.
Boars
Just
do
have
love
nature to take its course, lol.
boars love paper.
So people generally tend to not want to live by the prison and the soul furnace. So while this area is kind of poorer, this area is going to be more higher end things and where people sell things. And this is the financial area.
So you can go over here and act like you're browsing stores.
Well, we have to
We
be
need a
close-
place. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we'd have to be close enough so that if something went down, we could get there in time without any shenanigans happening.
Oh, now you do
Yes,
it.
this is mostly for you. Me and Moira and I will be flying.
Yeah.
He said the
I
S
can
word.
show you the world.
Figure we don't want to be out in public with the sentinel around.
Wait a minute, which one?
The one that stabbed.
No, he said the S word. Which one?
Shenanigans.
Oh,
Now there's going to be
I
some.
didn't know you were talking about me.
What?
He says if there's any shenanigans, it's like, oh, now there's going to have to be shenanigans. You said there wouldn't. There could be.
Okay.
Uh,
okay.
The shenanigans will again.
All right.
Ah,
So you guys have decided that some of you are going to be perusing the shops while the reconnoitering occurs with the bird people.
I was actually
Yeah,
bringing up
'cause
a point that we might not want to be out in public with the sentinel around.
Or we
You
might
do
want
not
to.
need to come with us, but it's up to you.
I don't want to have something that happened to Frederick or anybody else that had happened before, so I want to make sure we're close by in case we need to get over there.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Tread isn't going to eat me and then cough me up somewhere because I'm not going to die.
I mean, it
And
did
if they're
happen
not
before,
big
so it could
birds-
again.
If they're not big birds, then more than likely the poor part of town is not going to try and shoot them out of the sky with slings and such.
True.
We can fly pretty high.
Yeah, but if you're gonna try and get a look into the buildings as well from the roof area, you're gonna have to get low.
Or if you want to see in the building.
There are fewer buildings around. Once we get close to it, we can fly high on the approach.
The little shack town out in front of it is full of really poor people. When that's excess prisoners, isn't it?
This area is actually for. Damn it! I need my boing, boing. This area is actually a shantytown built for excess prisoners who are being processed into the prison,
Okay.
or being tossed directly into the soul furnace.
Whichever, you know.
That sounds fun.
Ugh.
Who wants to ride the soul furnace?
Not me.
That's the soul train. Thank you.
Come on, ride the furnace and ride it.
Let's figure out where everyone's going to be waiting while we scout.
See how I just heard in my head?
What?
I'm a soul train.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
dear
God.
me.
Well, welcome to D&D, everyone, where everyone makes obscure music references and movie references, and no one understands what's going on. It's like Who's
Oh, I
Line, but with
do.
more
Just
blood.
have to be, we just have to be
I got my
careful with
Oblivion
that.
reference in. I'm cool.
Okay.
Hmm.
I apologize, I did not notice it. All right. So, some, if not all of you, are going to be somewhere over here.
Yes.
I'll follow along with them,
Okay.
keeping my eyes out for the sentinel.
Okay, what is your passive perception?
Who's you?
Greer.
Oh,
That's,
Passive 13.
okay, that's not bad.
It's not all that great.
It's not
On
bad.
our way, I feel like I would keep an eye out as well. My passive is 19.
Okay.
We got a 19 and an 18
That's
over
better.
here.
You don't see anything out of the
Wisdom
orny.
casters.
I'm too short to have a good passive perception.
How many birds are in the sky in this area?
There's a decent number. They seem to stay away from the massive bricks of stone that are the prison and the soul furnace. But yeah, there's a number of them.
We will stick out getting close to the buildings, but we don't have much of a choice.
Esther and the Tempest King has stayed back with Fred, by the way,
Of course,
and the
Fred is
rat,
their guardian.
and the elk.
And the elk. There's no way that elk is getting out of that room without some serious damage.
I hope it does not do that, because we'll pay for those damages.
I would have to tell it to. Shouldn't be a problem.
That is interesting. But, what kind of birds are those?
They look like
What?
ravens or gulls of some kind. You know, the regular trash picker-uppers. And the ones that are absolute
Sky
assholes.
rats.
Sky rats, yes.
If anyone speaks Draconic, that's literally what they're called. In Tread's language, he literally says sky rat.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong at all. Alright, where should we go to do this?
Perhaps
Oh.
an alleyway?
An alley
Yeah.
would probably be good. Do you want to be a black sky rat or a white sky rat or a gray sky rat?
Surprise me.
Very well.
Blue.
Do we find an alleyway we can turn
Yeah,
into?
there's a lot of alleyways around here.
Okay. Go down an alleyway. I tap her shoulder
Probably doesn't look suspicious.
and she becomes a seagull and I become a raven.
Okay, what is a seagull's intelligence? The,
Oh boy, that's good. Good question.
Mine probably.
No,
I mean,
the
I don't think
crow
there's
on the
actual
other hand.
stats for a seagull, but let me look.
You can
Laughing
just
gull.
use a different bird. But
they
Well, I
have an
would probably-
intelligence of
Yeah.
-4.
great.
Laughing
Oh,
gull.
yes.
Uh,
It affects your intelligence.
mm-hmm. For ooh,
So
hang on.
that
Okay, we
So you
have.
can't even keep count of things if you're not a somewhat intelligent creature.
No, there's miscellaneous birds. All right, let's check out a few things. Okay, someone on the strange.
So do I not keep my mental stuff?
Does the spell specify that they keep their mental agencies, or do they actually get turned into an animal?
Let me check. Do, do, do. The target's game statistics, including mental ability. So, knowing that, I probably would choose something a little smarter, like a hawk.
Okay, let's see.
Or a raven?
Ravens
Yeah,
have
but
a
or-
minus
or a
4.
raven.
Intelligence drops far enough, you will like lose all agency. You'll just start.
Birding. So according to the SRD, a raven has an intelligence of 2. For
I
a
feel like
minus
that's
4.
bullshit.
For a
That is
minus
definitely
4.
bullshit.
That's
I know.
just enough to do bird shit.
Yeah, ravens are a lot smarter than that.
Yeah, they should be at least the same as like a hawk or something.
All right, let's check out what some of these other ones are.
An owl is a 9. Ravens are at least as smart as owls. In fact, I think they're smarter.
Let's see what. That seems like bullcrap too. A hawk has also a minus 4 modifier.
What?
Yeah.
An owl is -1. I feel like
What the
the
fuck?
owl is as smart as Tread.
ouch.
I think this D&D wiki is a bit off for the 5e stuff.
Well, owls are supposed to be wise, not smart.
Oh, their wisdom
Yes,
is plus
that's
5.
subtly
It's a
different.
straight 20.
Minus
They are
4.
really wise.
How?
Perhaps say maybe the intelligence drops down to 10.
Yeah. Let's put let's say 8.
This one says ravens are a 9, so -1.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. D&D wiki might be a little bit. Oh, this is the homebrew page. What's this lameness? All right. Let's
They
check this
can
out.
mimic simple sounds. We can talk to each other.
Okay, according to D&D 5th edition compendium for Roll20, the intelligence of a raven is still -4.
According to mine, I'm on D&D Beyond right now. It's a 9, so -1.
Yeah, let's go with that because ravens are way smarter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes way more sense.
That makes absolutely no sense.
What
Oh,
about a crow?
because they're also kind of
I
smart
don't
too.
think there's any difference in statistics. They would probably just be. They would probably say like, "You want a crow? Be a raven."
It's like my familiar in my Friday game. I have a cockatoo. We just use the raven one.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a familiar girdled lizard. I just use a straight up lizard. They don't need specifics as long as it's close.
Yeah.
So probably a couple of ravens then, just since intelligence would be an issue otherwise.
Yeah, ravens are definitely smarter, and gulls are kind of a pain in the ass anyway. So you turn into a pair of ravens, and your pretty black feathers. Well,
Normally, I could definitely do that sound, but no, not right now. I'm tired.
So we were like, oh.
Never do that.
When the hell did Val get in this channel?
Wow.
Ravens have mimicry, so they can say short phrases. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I love that fucking cockatoo. Anyway,
Yeah.
I watch cockatoo videos just randomly on YouTube.
I'm not
Same.
surprised by this.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither am
I need to never have a cockatoo.
I want one so bad.
We fly off.
They suck
We
Okay.
fly off.
in real life.
Fly off to scout.
Okay, so your flight takes you well above the city, and even then, it seems that the prison and the soul furnace are still massive buildings at this height. You get about level with the top of the keep, which is like twice to three times the height of the walls, and the furnace still keeps going. The keep is about half the height.
Crow's just like, damn!
There doesn't seem to be any real discernible windows on the outside of either of the main buildings. There is, however, a steady plume of smoke coming from two ports on the top of the soul furnace.
The ceilings are flat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the roofs are flat, as is the top of the keep.
Any windows or openings other than the smoke?
Not that you can see at this distance.
I would like to get closer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna get a little bit closer.
All right. So I need some perception checks since you are looking specifically for windows.
Ravens have a +9 perception,
Window.
which I also have a plus.
Okay. I'll just roll mine and then add one to it.
Okay.
So 19.
Cool windows.
Okay. So there are a number. Tread, you see a number of smaller windows or ports about 2/3 the way up the soul furnace.
Mm-hmm.
They're just
Are
in
they
a line.
like open or just like windows, bars?
Some look like windows, some look like they're just holes cut in the wall.
I'd like to approach one of the holes in the wall.
Okay, it kind of looks like what we would consider like a drainage port, but it leads into the building for some reason.
How big is it?
I would say it's probably, hey, I actually have a ruler here. 5 inches tall, about a foot wide.
Yeah, that happened. I'll look at some of the windows. Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to be able to get everybody. That's the problem. I want to try to find a way to get everyone. What's the material made out of? Like, what's the building made out of? Stone?
It is made out of stone, yes.
Okay.
And I'm assuming since we have to, do the earrings work while we are like this?
You just hear,
Or
if
no?
they do, you just hear a bunch of cawing.
Probably not, because it would be absorbed into your form.
Okay. I was making sure before I was like,
God.
talk.
But considering we're both crows, I feel
did
like we
work,
could
we
understand
could-
each other.
If they did work, we could just count the calls on our end.
Yeah.
They would caw, 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 caw.
I'd like to go to one of the windows, like the actual windows, instead of one of the ports.
Okay. It
Is it like glass panes or?
It is a grimy glass pane. Very streaked.
Does it look like there's a way?
To open them, kind of check around, and it looks like they could open. It just looks like no one's really opened them.
And the building's made of stone, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very
Then I'll
smooth
say-
stone.
With my limited crow vocabulary, you essentially get the gist of I'm saying I move stone.
And I get across the gist of same.
Okay. Raven thumbs up.
Yeah.
No, that use the
Hold-
feet
hold
or
the claw up.
Means his thumbs up.
There's nothing else noticeable along the sides of the buildings, just some windows and ports.
There are a number of buttresses, and
Heh.
there's also what seems to be like parapets, mostly around the outside of the prison, but there's also at least one around the soul furnace.
What is in like through these windows?
You look in, and there seems to be a strangely large amount of soot on some of them.
Oh
So,
dear.
like we can't see in.
It's. Have you ever seen a super dirty window?
Yeah.
And you can see like for a couple of feet, and it's just like, I think there's something in there. It's pretty much like that. There's, at least for most of the windows here, there seems to be a hallway and something that like corrugated metal that extends out across into the direction of those two massive smoke plumes.
Okay. Are there any other windows? Like on different floors?
There are 3 other sets of windows, one higher, one lower.
And how big are the ledges on the windows?
The ledges on the windows are about 8 inches.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the windows below us, and then I'm like, you should go to the windows above us, essentially. So I
Okay.
asked Tread to go to the windows above, and not go to the one below.
Ah! Says so.
Okay,
Why are we like this?
because we play D&D.
We're actually communicating in Crow, just
But
Okay,
it's fun.
so you fly up to the 3rd set of windows, and Mimora flies to the first set of windows. The 3rd set, there's even more soot. Like, it looks like somebody probably blackwashed or blacked out almost all these things.
Okay. You know what? I want to try something stupid. I'm gonna like peck the glass with my beak. Just tap on it a little bit. Just
Okay, bang, bang, bang. I need a wisdom saving throw.
oh, fantastic. I have wild shape, so I maintain mine.
You hear in your little bird ears this faintest high-pitched buzz, almost like an intense tinnitus.
Ooh.
And it seems to emanate from the glass itself. But with your years of druid training, you just shrug it off and nothing happens.
I'm gonna go to where me and Blair and get across. Don't tap the glass.
what did I see while he was doing that?
Well, you're
No tap of glass.
you see it's a little clearer down here, not as much soot, just kind of like frosting around the edges of the windows. There's definitely a series of very large metallic structures within there, and also a number of openings. You can kind of see these very aggressive looking kind of green lights throughout the entire building. You can even kind of peer at the edges and see them, and you can see people moving around in there. Some are in the traditional gear of the Yantivas military. Some are dressed clearly as Hell Knights. Some are auxiliaries to both, and they seem to be pulling people around and leading them out in chains. Some of them are unchained, and those that are unchained are tossed into the green rectangle dome things that you can see.
And I kind of wait for Tread to get down here so you can see the same thing.
Don't tap the glass. In Crow. Or Raven, whatever.
Craven.
Just nod. I don't like the look of this
Nope.
at all. Okay.
Welcome to the area of villains. It means doing my job good.
Does it look like there are any other entrances other than the, like, front?
There from up above when you were coming in, there's probably a couple of other doors. But like there's like a number of doors on was the south side, the side closest to the prison.
Mhm.
And as flying in, there was obviously a massive door on the east side. You didn't have time to fly around to the back or to the north.
And how much time has it been at this point?
I say you'd be able to do this pretty quickly. It might have been 30 or 40 minutes.
That's not quickly at all.
Well, comparatively, it took you from flying from right here all the way up to here, up and down. So comparatively quickly, where it took probably 45, 60 minutes to walk from here to here. Find a shady alley.
I'll convey that we should start making our way back, but look at the prison, the other building, on our way back,
Okay.
just to see what we can see while we're here.
There are also human-sized places to stand on the outside of the prison.
Like, where?
Like on the outside, there's not scaffolding. Like
Oh,
balcony.
on the roof?
There's like balconies around the outside of the prison, and it's
Oh.
also flat on top of both of the buildings. But
Gotcha.
there's definitely more. It looks like there's more allowances for people to get out and stand on them than there is the soul furnace.
Is there anyone on them right now?
Not that you can see.
Okay. I think that's about it. And we're running out of time, so we'll head back towards the alleyway we were in originally.
All right. You get there without incident, and like right as you get to about what would be normal, you change back and don't take any fall damage. You got there just in the nick of time.
I'm still a pro though, because I have more time.
Thank you, Tread. That was so fun.
And I'm gonna land on her shoulder.
Okay. And I'm gonna go back to the others.
And I did choose the form of a normal crow, since this is not a combat situation.
Okay.
Dire crow.
So I was gonna
Scaled
say,
crow.
Me and
It's not
Moira
a
up
scaly
in flames
critter.
with her.
All my wild shape forms are typically scaly
Oh,
for combat
right, okay.
purposes.
So
And
we
they
wouldn't
look
want to have a
badass.
scaly bird running around when birds don't normally look like that.
You don't know
Yeah,
what
that'd
they
be a
look
little
Mini
disturbing.
raptor.
Again.
To be honest,
Well,
that'd be the least disturbing thing in Loburn. Let's be honest.
That's fair.
With people burning and all.
Are they?
Yeah,
Or if whatever is happening, we don't particularly know, do we? Or they're being sacrificed and their souls are being ripped from their bodies and the remains are being burned.
Anyway, it's terrible shit.
Yeah. So we're gonna make our way back to the party and tell them what we saw.
Okay.
We may be able to get everyone onto the roof and get in from there, that might be an easy way in, or we could make a door on the ground level is another way.
Going from top down does sound a little bit better. Can you turn all of us into birds?
No, but I can turn into something large and ferry people to the roof. I can also turn someone else into something large and they can help me ferry people to the roof.
Wouldn't that be a little bit noticeable?
Yes, I could turn a few people into flying animals, but not at the same time and not today.
Hmm.
I can do it 3 times.
Top down does sound enticing, but that also leaves us with no options for retreat. Should that be necessary.
Yeah.
Well, my people do not like splitting the party, as they say. We could do a little bit of both.
Well, we could. I'm assuming Frederick went with you. We could, use Dimension Door to get out.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, it worked when we were in prison.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
was one of us taking one of each, so 4 people max.
I mean, Tread got out on his own pretty well, didn't you, Tread?
Yes, and I caused some destruction while I was at it.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like we're entirely trapped in there.
No.
I should be able to make it out fine. If I'm left on my own.
Okay, I'm just thinking that it's going to be rather risky and whatnot. Not that pretty much everything we do is, but I don't know if it'd be an acceptable amount of risk, I'm saying.
We should also definitely do this a different day because I've already used a couple of my best spells.
Okay.
We could do it today if we need to, but
Now,
I don't have my earth spells prepared today.
that's fine. I think we've done enough. We don't want to cause too much attention by, like constantly being around there. Anyway.
Oh, that is very smart.
What is smart?
You know what smart is.
What time
No.
of day is it?
What did we say that was smart?
But we should not stay around here. It would bring too much attention.
Yes.
It's
time
definitely
of day is it?
It was definitely in the afternoon.
Okay, but we could get a full night's sleep and then get up before dawn.
You could, yes.
We could.
Was there any way to get between the prison and the furnace?
Yes. There's space in between.
No, to go from one building to the other.
There were doors between both, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
What if we
There
were
are
to
doors.
break into the prison, grab a bunch of first grab a bunch of weapons, break into the prison, free prisoners, arm them, and have them help create a distraction?
Because we
That
would be
could work.
putting innocent people in danger.
I can also create many distractions. I can
You will
make
not
a
need to be
swarm of
doing
raptors.
everything, but you'll run up
I,
of spells.
I understand we'd be
Yes,
putting innocent
I'm
people
just
in danger.
giving ideas.
Hmm.
But it would give
Yeah.
them a chance to fight for their own freedom.
Yeah. I don't know. How do I explain this? I don't know if they're being deprived of food and water. So they may be able to help us, maybe not. And I don't think there's a way at this point to find out. I like this idea. of arming them and whatnot to see if they could help us. But I don't know, like, their state. Hmm.
Don't know if that'd actually be of any help with any fighting.
Yeah, I mean, they might be, but it's not as if we can check it out before we get there. So if they
If they
could
ha-
help, if they'd be
if
willing
they
to
have
help.
windows, I could turn into a small insect and look.
Did they already explain to us that it's hard for them to see inside?
They didn't check out the prison.
Hmm.
Yeah, we just looked at the furnace. Because that was the main target.
Yes, we did glance at the prison, but we didn't get a very good look at it. We ran out of time.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean,
We could do it again. I have the spells.
mm,
We could go scout the prison now.
Well, what about the artifact?
What about it?
We do not know where they are.
We don't know where the leadership is.
yeah, the leadership is in the keep where we can't get to them. Right there.
And
He
we
did
know
say the keep and other places that rulers would be or leaders would be.
Oh, he did say in other places. Oh, okay.
So they're not all in the keep.
Okay.
I will point out, as DM helping you out just a little bit, he did point out that it wasn't all in one place. There was one in this city, and then the other 5 were in the other cities.
Oh, the other cities of Gant Evos, that's right.
Yes.
Okay, then
So
that's what I misunderstood. Okay. So
So
just-
even if we were to get one here, there's 5 elsewhere that we then have to go get.
Mhm.
All the people who were here after we decide to try to get that will be hunting us because they know we exist. Ha ha ha.
They already do. What?
Okay.
An entirely different part of the city. So, do you like cards? No. Are you just saying that because it's me? Yes. Do you like pigs?
Then he goes and cries to Fred.
Fred eats the cards.
No,
He does like paper.
he's actually Fred eats the cards, but as far as what's what, Frederick's actually quite good at cards.
Frederick isn't there. Fred is the pig.
Oh, I thought. Never mind. I just
Fred
forget I
is
The
said it.
Storm King talking with what's his
Frederick
face?
is
So Frederick and Fred the boar. I thought the boar would have disappeared already.
He lasts until dawn, I believe.
Okay, so he's got like another however many hours. It's going to be like 8 hours.
He
with a
will be
boar,
here
a
until
rat, and an
morning.
elk.
Yes, unless we kill him.
The rat has moved to the top of the Tempest King's head like a hat. He does not look impressed.
It should definitely on his
Did
head.
you say Fred or the rat?
The rat.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That's a big rat, though.
Do we want to try scouting the prison?
We could head back to that alley, and I could do the same thing again.
Would someone else like to go? It is very thrilling. I promise.
You look like you had a lot of fun with it.
It is a
You
little
can fly.
tiring on your arms, though.
It is.
Hmm.
But I did have a lot of fun. That's why I want someone else to try.
We flew
To be
before.
transformed into an animal.
I've flown before. I don't think I'll do that again. At least not as a bird.
I'm rather sometimes I have sort of kind of had an experience with flight as far as that goes, and I don't know if I'd want to do it in bird form.
This is Laura asking for an out so she can go to bed.
Well, we're getting close to wrapping up anyway.
Okay.
And so someone else can go with Tread to
I'll go with Tread.
scout.
Okay.
Very well. We should make our way back to that alley or another one nearby.
Before we walk out, I'll go, keep an eye out for the sentry.
Mhm. And I am keeping an eye out as we make our way there.
Just one eye. Just can't keep two.
Yes. I can't keep two on the same thing. It's not possible.
Oh my god.
I thought his
just-
eyes went because they went in two different directions.
Anyway, you guys make it back to the the alleyway, and you transform into birds.
Yes. To a prison.
To prison.
I don't want to go to prison, but I do.
I ain't going back. So you make it to the prison. It's closer than the soul furnace, of course. What are you guys doing?
Gonna look at the roof first, see if there's
Yeah.
any entrances on there.
There do
To the
appear to be a couple of doorways that lead down into the prison. A couple of ladder ports spread throughout.
Is there anybody on top?
Not that you can
Like any
see.
guards or
Why-
Okay, then I'll look at go down to one of the windows and look inside and try and see how the if I can see any of the prisoners and how they look. Like what type of shape they're.
You are not able to see into any of the cells. There appears to be outer walls and then cell doors, as if they're encased in a continual hallway around the outside.
The windows are also glass panes on this building.
Yes.
Do they look like they can be opened by a bird?
They have heavy iron bars on them, and do not look as if they're designed to be opened. Okay. Is there any other things you'd like to look at?
Entrances around the ground.
There are a number of them. Most of them very large and wide to accommodate a large volume of people under guard. These ones
Go ahead, sorry.
These ones do appear to have some guards around them. There are a couple. Most of them seem to be heavily armored Hell Knights.
Oh, fantastic. I can't think of
the
anything
walkways. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. The walkways, you said?
Yeah, is it only one walkway at the bottom, or is there multiple?
There are
going
multiple.
up the prison.
There seems to be one every other
Are
floor.
they open? Are they open to where I can see? Like, can I see movement through them to see maybe if I can see how any of the prisoners look that are getting taken over towards the furnace?
The walkways go around the prison. They don't actually lead over to the soul furnace.
No.
There is no
See, that's what I was
physical.
asking earlier.
There is no physical connection between the soul furnace and the prison.
Oh, damn it, that's what I was asking earlier. I figured there were little walkways between them.
If I
They
made you
both
think-
have doors on the side that's closest, but they're not connected. They just happen to both have doors.
Okay.
If I made you think that, I apologize. That was not clear on my part.
I probably didn't explain it properly for what I was thinking, anyways.
It's late. Everyone's tired. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to look at?
I believe that's it. I can
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else we need to look for either.
All right. So you guys return?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. You guys going back to the room?
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back to the alleyway to pick up everybody else.
I meant after you did that. But yes.
Yeah, then we'll go back to the room and order dinner or whatever.
All right. You make it back to the room without incident. There does seem to be a little high level irritation between the Tempest King and Isra, but that's to be expected.
Is Isra asleep yet?
No.
I'm going to go downstairs, get a glass of wine, and ask the innkeeper if he has anything to put in it that might help my friend sleep.
Isn't the wine enough?
He's very annoying, and he's talking too much.
It's not my problem. I can't hear him.
I hold out 2 silver. Please. I'm getting tired of
Fine. He reaches behind. He doesn't give you all the bottle. He just taps some into the wines. That should help. And he takes the 2
Okay.
silver.
And, and I would say, oh, also, can we get some other food brought up? And I'll take a tray of drinks up.
All right. It's going to cost you probably 30 copper.
Okay. And I'll make sure I can keep an eye out. I'll hold on to Isra's drink, and when I get up to the door, I'll kind of knock on it by kicking the door.
Okay. Pong, pong, pong. You knock at the door.
Who is it?
It's Greer. My arms are full. Can somebody open this damn thing?
Yeah. I'll go over there and open the door and let him in.
Okay.
And close it after him, of course.
I got food coming up, and I brought some drinks for everybody.
All right, thanks.
This one won't fit on the tray, and I'll go over. Isra, I figured you were a wine drinker. Damn little snob.
I drink what's wet. Thank you very much.
I'll grab my drink and take a drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta check something real quick.
Damn it.
Checking Isra's stats, lol.
He reaches out and he takes it, and as he raises it to his lips, says, "There's some stuff floating in the wine. You wouldn't
I would have mixed. I would have spun it around so it wasn't
Obvious.
visible. I'm not.
Did you get me sparse wine?
I just asked him for a wine that somebody who drinks a lot of wine might like, because I prefer ale.
Are you lying to him?
I'll try a deception, but that sucks. It's a really low score.
Yeah, roll me a deception check.
Oh.
Not bad of a roll.
No.
No, it's not. That's bullcrap. I was not born yesterday. I am not drinking this. Thank you, though.
Pussy.
You are what you eat.
What is
Oh,
a
ass.
You are what you eat.
Dick.
what is a pussy and what is an ass?
We'll talk about that later, Tread.
How old is Tread?
19.
Although I suppose
Lizard folk have different anatomy.
yeah, he's older.
Okay, so I will go up and I will take the wine from his hand, and I'll act like I'm taking a drink, and you sleight of hand to make it so it seems like I took a drink.
Okay. You just kind of pour it down the front
Damn.
of your shirt.
Hey, that's where I actually sip a little bit of it.
Okay.
But I don't swallow. I'm more like Monica Lewinsky in that point. I did not.
So you,
God damn it.
So it dribbles down your chin a little bit, and you get some in your mouth. You're just like, mm-hmm. Fine. And he takes the glass and starts sipping on it. 5 minutes later, he is unconscious.
And I would not have swallowed it. I would have spit it out to my cup, set my cup to the side.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do this evening?
Make a
Eat
healing potion.
and meditate.
All right. Well, seeing as there's nothing important going on, we can end here on this nice, quiet, and calm ending. Next week, I think it's supposed to be Shadowrun.
Ooh. Then we get to tell everybody what we've done in our off time. Eh?
Oh yeah, I gotta get a sword for Slim. But the week after that is going to be D&D again. So we'll catch you next time for Shadowrun. And cool music plays as lights go down. We'll catch you next week.